weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
It's Bondzee Live. Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube.
How the hell are you? It's Friday night. It's Bondzee Live. Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. Here we go. We are live at the Hip Bar in San Juan Del Sur. It's Friday night. Things are just getting ramped up around here. Make sure you go to deanblundell.com, not only to watch this show, but for amazing content as well. They got other amazing podcasts, blogs. Go check it out. It's absolutely fantastic. It's episode 197. Make sure you watch the show on YouTube, Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube, that is. Subscribe, like, comment. It all helps, definitely for sure. So please go and follow along on Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube. Like I said, we're live at the Hip Bar in San Juan Del Sur. Not sure if you can tell or not. It's literally plastered right behind me. We are so close to episode 200, man. I'm pretty excited about that. Got some big things planned. Still waiting to hear back. Glorious Sons. Love to have them on the 200th episode. They're in the midst of just getting ready for a tour right now. It'll be perfect time, and keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully that pans out, but I'm really excited for episode 200. But fuck 200. We're at 197 right now, folks. Let's buckle up and go. It's Friday night. Hope you got some pops in you, maybe some vino. I don't care what you put into you. Just be safe about it, all right? Show's brought to you by the Hip San Juan Bar, where we're at right now. Listen, folks, it's awesome here. $5 food specials every day, $1 beer, $1 rum, $1 tequila. It's all at your service. It's right there. Fingertips, boom. Best Caesars in town, hands down. It's an awesome atmosphere here. 3 TVs. We got sports on right now. We got Bondzee live on the TV. We're live through the sound system. Town's just getting pumped up. It's going to be an awesome weekend. Show's also brought to you by Shakespeare's Fine Dining, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. I simply cannot wait to go to Shakespeare's as soon as I get home. We're having a big old party there. Welcome home, Bondzee party. Tara Graves will be coming. Thanks for tuning in. I know she's coming. If you want in, let me know. Shoot me a message. We're probably, we'll see. Maybe we'll close down the restaurant and we'll have a whole shebang there. 905-528-0689. Call and make reservations, please. Don't show up there, think you're getting in and you're going to just have a wonderful meal, because you need reservations. The celebrities don't. You do. They all go there. You should too. Amazing surf and turf and the whole 9 yards. Show's also brought to you by scrambleclothing.com. It's Scramble with a K. Make sure you check them out, folks. They got amazing wear. Hats, T-shirts, hoodies, whatever you need, they got it. It's men's, it's women's, it's beachwear, it's surfwear, it's golf apparel as well. He took his 2 favorite things, made it into a clothing company. You got to get your mitts on some of that apparel. Scramble Clothing, Scramble with a K.com. Right on. All right, here we are live from the Hip Bar, San Juan Del Sur. Tonight, we got a couple of fucking beauties on this show. Chris Cram is going to join us, folks. Brand new segment every single Friday. It's called Breaking News. Pun intended, because it's breaking with BRAKING. I felt the need to explain this. I'm not going to do it again, because just fucking figure it out. Racing talk, breaking news. That's what it's called. I just choked on my own spit. That's what it's called. Breaking news with Chris Cram. We're going to talk F1. We're going to talk NASCAR. We're going to talk Indy, all your favorite car racing stuff. Huge racing coming up again this weekend. F1, my new favorite thing in the world. Folks, if you haven't taken my advice yet, take it now. F1, Netflix. It's called Drive to Survive. It's the greatest show on the planet, and it's the best show on Netflix. It's better than Ozark. It takes you behind the scenes. It makes you feel like you're driving a goddamn car. It's super amazing. You got to check it out. It got me absolutely hooked on F1. It's the reason behind this series. You think I'm excited about F1 and stuff? You should see Chris Cram and his knowledge. He is an expert, folks. He's built simulators. He races cars. We're going to get all into it in a hot minute. After that, we got my boy. You know him. You love him. He's a beer swilling.
Here, we're going to check in on Army Kris, right? Go ahead.
He's a beer swilling, foul-mouthed podcaster, ex-veteran. He's on the Dean Blundell Network. He's coming up. He's downstairs babysitting a midget and the other co-host from the locker room. And Grant. Yeah. Locker already had to go home in a cab because he's completely buckled and waffled out of his tree. So they just Ubered his ass home. Stay safe out there, Locker. Hope you make it home all right. Poor Deb. Poor Deb, eh, Glassy?
I know.
Jesus
right?
Christ.
Apparently, before he left Army Chris's, he had a deuce and left. So, like, he deuced
That's
and
it
bounced it.
too. He did. He
Bounced.
smashed Army Chris's bathroom and then pieced out in the Uber.
Maybe Chris is
Completely
cleaning it right now.
ruffled.
We don't know.
Yeah, we really don't know. Anyways, Army Kris is going to come on with us, and we're going to talk some OCD tonight, folks. Your buddy Bondzee here has got some OCD quirks, weirdos. Wait till you hear the things I've got coming up that are literally in my everyday life. But thankfully, and listen, lest anybody think who suffers highly and badly from OCD, I suffer from it, but I don't like to use the word suffering because it doesn't affect my every single day life. Nobody would even know that I have these quirks and do these quirks in my brain. And you'll see, if you ever see my fucking teeth going back and forth, and I'm kind of like, looks like I got on the old blow cane, because you get the old chewing tongue and you can grind your teeth and stuff. Trust me, I know I did it sadly a few times. That's not the reason. It's because I'm counting or doing weird shit in my head. And we'll get into that later with Army Kris. All right. But listen, I can't wait to talk to that guy. Shameless plug for my t-shirts, the Trippin With Bondzee tees. They're ready to go. They're here. They've been selling like hotcakes here, actually. It's been funding my listen, I'm not a big cook guy, stay-at-home cook guy for one person. So thanks for everybody for buying the t-shirts that has bought one down here in San Juan Del Sur. And thanks to everybody back home in Canada that has ordered one. As soon as I get home, they'll be shipped out to your Addy. And as soon as I'm home, we'll get those done, okay? Speaking of coming home, April 6th.
We didn't get one yet.
Fuck, I'm not home yet. Fucking producer guy, eh? When I am home, maybe did I stutter a minute ago, bud? I said when I'm back in Canada, I will be sending out the t-shirts to everybody. Have you ran into the postal system down here in Nicaragua, pal? When I lived here for 3 years, my parents sent me a care package and a Christmas card. I got it 2 years later. So
wow.
And
was it ripped open already? So they like found all the...
No, it wasn't actually. But it's definitely, their mail system here is not the greatest, like sending or receiving. It's getting better.
This is why you get pulled over in Nicaragua, is because you're branding everybody in town with your t-shirts.
Maybe that's why they just.
Oh, you're that white Canadian.
You just want a few minutes with the old Bonzarelli.
Yeah.
I can't blame them. Listen, they pulled me over the other night, like I said on Wednesday's show, kept me there for 12 minutes, gave me the runaround, said I owed them 500 Cordobas, and then just let me go.
What's 500 Cordovas down there? What's that worth?
About
here?
$15.
$15. Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't. Yeah. You should have bought them burgers or something like that. I think.
Well, apparently that's the move. I gotta go with my boy Ty Wad's move and offer hamburgers, hamburguesas, as they are known in Espanol. Yep. I don't even know if I said that right. It's on Espanol. Yeah, I got it right. I got the thumbs up from some pals around here. Says you're doing a good job, Bondzee.
Hey.
Yeah. Listen, make sure get your hands on the quality. It's quality material. They're $15. Don't be a cheapskate. And like I said, when I'm back, I'll mail the rest out. And Glassy, you'll get one too. And I won't even charge you.
Hey, cool. Are we gonna go to Chris right now, or you gotta go?
No. Or I'm not there yet.
You're not there yet?
I'm running the show. Okay.
Fine,
you sit quietly in the background, put up the pictures when told or when you know, and we'll get to him. Coming up, also some great guests. Dan Beardsley. We've been trying to get it on his catamaran. Every time we make plans, it gets booked. Not a bad thing, to be honest with you. Bongo Bob's coming up. We are doing the interview. It's going to be a pre-recorded one. We're doing it tomorrow night, live, not live here at the Hip, but after his show at the Hip. And then we've also got a Canadian. It's going to sound a little weird. There's my boy Bongo Bob right there. Just saw him and Michael Bem, a previous guest, I think from Wednesday night or Monday night. They just played down at Moonshine, got to catch their show. That was super awesome. They are so talented, the both of them. I mean, it's just disgusting. We've also got a Canadian Ninja Warrior world champion coming up. I think he's about 18, 19 years old, somewhere in that realm. He's one of my childhood buddies' sons, and this guy's killing it around the world with this Ninja Warrior stuff. I'm not sure if you've seen it on the YouTube or the telly, as they say over in England, where me folks are from. But this kid has got it going on, and we'll show you some amazing videos and stuff coming up. That one's going to be a sit-down interview, and I'm waiting for this one specifically to do at home, because his son lives around the corner from where I'm going to be staying for my 3.5 weeks when I'm in Hamilton. rocking it with the parents before I take off to the private island for the summer and rock it, playing some golf, hanging out, hobnobbing with the Richies, if you will. Nice word, Bondzee. The Richies. Sure, they're gonna love that if they see this episode back. Sorry, folks, I didn't mean to be rude and call you the Richies, but you know, those people with a plethora of money. That's one for me. Where's my boy Wade in the comments? He's like, he's always keeping tab on how many times I say plethora. Plane ticket. Home.
You do say it plethora a long time.
I don't say it a lot. I didn't even say it the last couple shows. Just
actually,
so you know,
you did 3 last episode, and I think there was 2 or
Stop
5 on.
You're not
Monday
even
night.
my real dad. Stop
I'm
yelling
not your
at me,
real
bud.
dad. No!
Stop it already. Cripes. I have a sip of rum because of that guy. Gives me anxiety.
Even Army Kris can't believe your bullshit, and he's gonna be sitting here in the middle and in the back.
You say plethora a plethora of times, bro.
Thank you. Thank
Get
you.
fucking bad. It's not even your turn to come on this show. Cripes, I'm trying to do a solid show here. I got Chris Cram. He's waiting and laughing in the background at the car club. We're going to get to him coming up right shortly, I promise. Just want to tell you about, I'm finally coming home. I booked a ticket again. 3rd time, I think. But this time it's for real. Okay, here's what happened. Yesterday morning, I booked a ticket. It was like 8 a.m. I'm like, okay, I got it. The dates weren't working out. I was coming home March 30th. I booked it. I was like, okay, it is what it is. To fly home April 2nd was $600 more almost. And I'm like, fuck, but for 3 days, $600? I ain't made of money, motherfucker. This shit ain't paying me that good. And the reading pays well, but come on. $600 for 3 days, not worth it. So I booked the flight. Then I got all up depressed and bummed out. And I'm like, I don't want to go home less than a week. What the fuck am I doing? Gotta go home and sit in Sarge's basement. His fucking brother upstairs. Can't stand the motherfucker. Anyways, I made some magic happen. And I found out that I could pay $200 more. Not a big deal. It's a couple scripts, a few scripts, half a book, quarter of a book. $200 flying first class, baby. April 6th, WestJet. Hate to give them kudos when I fucking shaded them pretty heavy last year, but God damn it, they pulled through for $200 more. Old Bonzarelli's flying home first class, as I should, by the way. Kind of a big deal now, sort of, not really. Just like to say that. And don't have to pay for the upgrade or extra luggage. Don't have to pay for That's a new thing on the airline. So you buy your ticket, then you go, you got to pick your seat, and guess what? You got to pay for that motherfucker too. I don't know whenever that started, but I don't like that stupid rule. Anyways, for $200 more, you'd be an idiot not to do it. So I ended up switching my flight, I believe for the 4th time in 2 months since I've been in San Juan Del Sur. Yeah, 4 glasses, give me the 4 sign. Yes, I know. But listen, you would too. It's paradise here. You want to go home and live in Sarge's basement and do a show for a month? Or do you want me to do a show from here, from San Juan, and only do sort of 3 weeks?
Come to BC and smoke a lot of weed.
Are you going to pay for that, mister?
You can fly. If you're going to fly to Toronto, what did Chris say? Toronto. If you're going to fly to Toronto, then, you can certainly fly to BC and, we can, June, come here. Seriously.
I can't come up as of May 1st, dude.
Oh,
my
I'm
summer
sorry.
is
You're
over
working. That's
because
right.
I'm going to this palace for the summer. My condo is right behind that. 3-minute walk, by the way. Not a big deal. That's going to be a super awesome summer for old Bonzarelli. Free golf, hobnobbing with the Richies, and making sure they have a good time whilst they're on their own private island that they own for the summer. I know I'm going to make some really good friends there, and I'm stoked about it. Okay, one more quick story real quick before I bring in Chris Cram. Everybody's been asking the legs. They swelled up like balloons this week. Went to the hospital, spent some time there, went to the doctors, got blood work, got urine test, and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, it turns out the fucking medication that this wingnut doctor back in Canada fucking put me on for this thing I got, I'm not talking about it, but the fucking medication isn't even the right medication. It turns out it made my liver swell beyond belief. And folks know it's not from the copious amounts of alcohol. I put way more alcohol in this fucking gullet than I am now. And my body never, ever swelled up like this. Turns out we got the blood results back today. My liver is ginormous, which in turn, from me sitting all day and cutting off the circulation to my legs, made my entire body swell. Not just my legs. I could feel it in my face, my arms, my fingers. I already have fucking fat sausage fingers, and I didn't need any help swelling up. Well, that's for sure. Anyways, I have really nice legs. I hate to brag, but I played soccer all my life, baseball, football, and I got some calves. I got some nice calves, some nice definition, if you will, some quads. Was a runner. Fuck you. Hey, how many half marathons have you run, Mr. Glassy, Mr. Chris, and Cram?
None at all.
Yeah, none, exactly. So shut your pie hole.
Dean had that lady on from Take It Outside or Let's Take It Outside podcast. No, nothing about hiking up a hill or walking anywhere I could potentially die interests me. Not at all.
Well, sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
But you've already you're a stick figure. You look like fucking Gumby, bud.
Dude,
you don't have any muscles. You're not amazing. You just look like fucking Gumby. Okay? Good Lord.
That's chisel, baby.
Woo! Fucking call you the CN
Happy
Tower.
Friday.
Guy's
Happy
like
Friday.
6'18".
Yeah.
Listen,
they call that giraffe.
I swelled up like an Oompa Loompa. It was embarrassing. I never had cankles before. I love that word, cankles. Don't you, Todd? Anyways, the cankles are gone. I'm proud to say I'm off the medication. We're on some new stuff that Dr. Dennis, big shout out to Dr. Dennis here. He took care of me. It cost me $15 to go see the doctor and get all this shit taken care of. We're off the shitty medicine. We're on the right track, feeling better, looking better, and not a big deal. All right, enough of that. Let's get to my boy. He's been waiting super patiently. He's at the car club. I love this guy. Dude, welcome to the show, everybody. Chris Cram.
Thank you, Bondzee. How you doing?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm doing great. Welcome to Bondzee Live on Trippin With Bondzee on YouTube and the Dean Blundell Network. Listen, I'm excited for our new segment of breaking news with Chris Cram. It's awesome.
Can't wait, man. This is going to be great. We're going to dig into some racing. We're going to talk about racing from the pro level. I want to talk about like gentleman racing and racing from the amateur classes. We'll talk about cars, talk about racing. We'll get into all of it.
We'll get into everything and all that and everything in between. I'm hearing some rumbles in the background. Walk us through and tell us where you're at and what's going on, because, dude, it looks like you're in a movie scene right now and stuff, but you're not. Let's hear about it.
It definitely does. So I'm at the world headquarters of our club here in Toronto, Ontario. Where our club is a social club for petrol heads, really just driven by the common enjoyment of automotive endeavors, automotive sport, everything from collecting old cars to racing cars to getting together for weekend cruises. Our club is really a site really designed for the petrol head and everyone. So. Bondzee, there's a plethora of cars here.
Nice.
To check out here tonight.
My man, plethora.
Get in there.
We might hit the world record for that word tonight. Keep going.
I think we're gonna pop that. Yeah. So in the background here, you can see a couple of the cars we have on show. You've got what are we on this side of me? We've got an 85 Testarossa, Ferrari Testarossa. There's a mid-50s. This 300 SL Gullwing. It's got the doors that open up. It's basically priceless. On the other side here,
I hate to cut you off before you go into it, but can we get a couple price tags on those first couple cars, that Testarossa and that Mercedes?
Yeah, I mean, that Testarossa is probably 200 plus. I mean, it's not like it's a crazy fast car, but it sure is iconic, right? The 80s and all the, this is the thing with the automotive collecting is, like everything else lately, going through the roof. Values going crazy. It's all like the 90s Japanese cars that are getting crazy money now, and because those are vintage now as time goes on, right? So the prices have gone crazy lately. The vehicles behind me, you're getting this SL over here is, kind of priceless, right? Like everything has a price, but we're looking at, I don't know. I don't even want to say because I'm not the person that does that. But
how much do these cars get driven, Chris, if I may ask?
So that's the interesting thing. So we have a ton of members here who actually really enjoy to drive their cars. The priceless SL, maybe not so much because it's kind of, in a parade. They do, vintage or historic events. Laguna Seca in Monterey, California. You got the events that go on in England as well. There's a lot of really neat events where they can drive these cars. Here in Toronto, we have the Driven event, or I think it's the Drive event, sorry, up at Canadian Motorsports Park. That's where we get to showcase a lot of vintage cars around here. You get to see them top speed around the corners there at Mosport. And a lot of these cars here behind me have been and participated in that event. This Datsun, there's a 240Z Datsun. Sorry, I'm going the wrong way here. On my right side. And I mean, that's 1970s. The 911 beside it, the gray one there, is an early 80s 911, but it's just been heavily modified, heavily updated.
What's the orange one behind you?
This one right here. Or
Yep.
That one's that's a 240Z Datsun.
Okay.
And then there's a McLaren actually.
No
let me
way.
see if I go over here. Yeah, there's a McLaren.
Look at that,
570S, I believe. There's a new NSX as well. You got an old Mustang up on the top. You got an old Fiat. You got an old Alfa Romeo up there. You got an old Defender. There's a Land Cruiser Defender back there.
Amazing.
911s. There's a Cayman beside me. There's a Corvette being tuned up in the garage right now. We have motorcycle enthusiasts here. It's fantastic. This is for me, the draw was like-minded individuals and really the motorsport side, building a race team, building a racing program, taking people from, just wanting to be able to learn how to drive in a performance setting, and taking those people through a program that they can be taught by real drivers in controlled setting with safe cars. And then obviously, as we step up the game, more performance, faster cars, faster tracks, less, hands-on instruction, a little bit more on your own. And then eventually we get into street sports car racing. And then the Formula racing that we all love so much. And F1 right now, right? With, of course, the famous Netflix series now, bringing tons of fans to F1.
Yeah, that's amazing. So listen, Glassy, first of all, it's not Kiki Ray. Can you please take that off the screen? That's Chris Cram, everybody. You're at your car club. Listen, where did this passion and love for racing come from and start?
There's no Kiki. Sorry, there's no Kiki in there. I just updated the graphic. It's all there.
It came up on my screen and said it was Kiki Ray from Quantum Creatrix.
No.
Get your shit together, bud.
That was
it
last
popped up
episode.
on the screen. Chris, did you see it just now?
I did not.
Well, it came up on my screen like that.
What do you
Anyways.
see if I put this up right now? Bondzee Live featuring Chris Cram.
Yeah, now it does. But before, somebody back me up here. It came up as Kiki. Anyways, where did this love and passion for racing come from?
From day one, I wanted to go fast. Always wanted to go fast. I don't care what it was, man. I used to tune I had a big lawn in the sticks, and we had this old late 60s riding mower. And this is like a brick. It was in the lawn. It was like mounted into the lawn, like the moss had all grown over it. And I said to my dad one year, I was probably 10 years old. I was like, "Is that a riding mower?" He's like, "Yeah, it's from the, super old, whatever. It's garbage." I'm like, "Can I try and make it work?" And he's like, "Okay." And I guess he saw that as an opportunity. And my uncles are gearheads as well, so they sort of saw that opportunity to get in there with me. And man, we brought this thing back to life. Old Tecumseh riding mower. It had this little slider thing on the front, and had to get the whole thing set up and balanced to cut the lawn like this for the first 6 months.
Yeah.
And basically anything to get out of having to push the freaking lawnmower around this big giant property. So he was really like, I tuned this thing up. I got it fast. I had 5 gears on it, and I used to pop wheelies on the thing, and that's it.
So you're very
motorcycles, do that, restore them, rebuild them.
You're very mechanically inclined, my friend, and I guess it's something you're kind of born with and gifted with. I would suspect, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really think that it's definitely. I guess I find it easy, but there's always a motivation factor though too, right? Learn to fix the thing because I didn't want to mow the lawn. Want to go fast and want that adrenaline tickle, right? So figure out how to fix the motorbike, right?
Well, and that's just it. And then so you fall in love with that and making things go fast, but not only your passion for building things and making them go fast, but your knowledge of F1, Indy, NASCAR, you're into it all. And it goes even beyond that. You're into the, what's that crazy Le Mans series where they they race for like 24 hours at a time, and you're into all these other mini series and stuff. It's absolutely amazing, your passion and knowledge for this stuff. You've really instilled it into me, especially F1 for sure. We're still building up into getting into NASCAR and Indy. I'm not quite sure I'm at the level of love and passion. Maybe. But dude, on top of everything, during the pandemic, and speaking of building things and making them faster, the pandemic happened, racing shut down for a bit. You, motherfucker, built this by yourself. Yeah. Tell us about this.
Did.
What are we looking at?
All right. So, love to go fast, love to do all this stuff, right? You know, we started a racing team. We realized very quickly, again, you know, some of the stuff I was talking about trying to build some people up into being able to be competent race car drivers. It starts somewhere, and that somewhere is not in a really expensive car going really fast.
Yeah.
Right? So that's got to start somewhere else. And we got to get the brain, you know, we got to get the basics done in the brain first before you ever put your butt in one of these race cars, right? So I've been casually, like a racing simulator, racing online, you know, had an Xbox wheel years ago and loved all that. And as this sort of interest for like racing and this, you know, working together, trying to build some systems for people to learn, you know, I really started digging into simulators and really being able to build a platform that allowed you to train all the skills required to drive a race car. And so, with some time on my hands because of COVID and losing some hobbies, having some time back, I got to work on these things. So what you're looking at here is a full motion simulator. This is about $15,000 worth of stuff. What,
dude? Seriously?
That includes a couple cars firing up here, but
it's all good.
There's a $4,000 computer involved. There's $2,000 in monitors. There's, you know,
it's got everything. The seat looks super comfortable. You got fans on the screens. You got fans cooling the computers.
So the fans are set up for the speed of the car. So as you go faster, the fans blow faster. So it gives you a little bit. So in addition to the movement, you know, as you hit the brakes, the front dives. As you hit the gas, it goes back. And with those screens, when you're in there, it's wraparound. You don't see anything but the car.
Amazing.
So the immersion factor is heavy duty. We also have a VR system that we run with it for those who have a stomach that can handle that. Oftentimes movement and the VR stuff is heavy duty for people. But, you know, really wanted to build something that could get people into it, but high end. Like, I didn't want to build a crappy one. I wanted to build the best one, you know, so I got to work with 3D printing. I got to work with some CAD and design. And this is what we got. And there's now, we're on our 6th one of these. So a couple, you know, higher profile people reached out and said, hey,
yeah, right.
Do this. Because remember that during COVID, normal racing was off too, right? NASCAR was off. You know,
then there was a driver you mentioned to me just before you left San Juan a few days ago. You're back in Toronto now. There was you built a car specifically for one of these simulators for a driver who just ended up winning an IndyCar series a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. So I wasn't involved in building that actual one, but we did advise on the setup, and we also got him ready for it. So that's Scott Mclaughlin out of the Australian V8 Supercar, 3-time champion. I think Scotty's been there. Scotty came to IndyCar a couple years ago. He's in his 2nd year now. When he came into the game, talented race car driver, but never really driven wing cars before. So we got Scotty in the simulator, got him tuned up with that. Myself and my buddy TJ Majors, who at the time worked for Penske Racing as well, and we helped Scotty get this whole thing going. And I'm happy to say that he took home his first win at the first IndyCar race of the year a couple weeks ago. So
yeah, that's pretty amazing. And those things, you get the real experience. Like, I know it looks like you're looking out the window with the 3 screens, the wraparound and stuff. Are you pulling like, how do you get the G feeling and stuff? Because you were saying those simulators kind of do wear out and give you that real heavy duty feeling of being in a race car. What's that like?
Yeah, they really do. It really does thrash you around. You got to be careful. And when I was designing them, and I had to build a certain amount of safety into it, because I mean, at the end of the day, each one, there's 4 actuators there, and each one of them is capable of about 180 kilo of upward force. So that thing will throw you into the ceiling if it wanted to. So you got to build that safety mechanism into that. But with that comes the comes the lurching and the forward and all that stuff. And to be honest, after a couple minutes, the way your brain just gets, like the way VR works, if anybody's ever done VR out there, you know, after about 10 minutes, you don't even know what's real anymore. Like 10 minutes it takes your brain to be fully convinced of what it's being fed, right? So you get in that thing, you get that going, you are in immediately. And really what we're trying to do is, you know, I'm not trying to like give somebody like a carnival ride kind of experience. What we're trying to do is teach people when to hit the brakes, what gear to be in for the corner, when to hit the gas, when to do that. Turn 2 is 3rd gear. Turn 3 is 4th gear. That programming, that hand, that foot repetition, that seeing it over and over again. I'm a perfect example of someone who has trained on a simulator, has gone to a road course that I've never been to before, and has immediately gotten in a car and been as quick as the simulator times and as quick as the people around me, having never done that before. And really, it's a testament to the training. It's the brain, right? The brain and the hand-eye coordination.
Yeah, for sure, dude. It looks absolutely phenomenal. I wish I could afford one. It just looks like that's an expensive fucking toy, though, right there, bud. So I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So I mean, if it is a toy, you better be not into many toys. But if it's something that you're going to use, like we do here, for as part of the business, as part of the race team, and all that stuff. We're up to 3 simulators in house here now, and that's going to be growing. Yeah, there's 3 of those babies back here, so it's pretty rad. They're actually all there are a series of people in there training right now. We're running the virtual 24 hours of the Nuremberg Ring race here next week. So we've got 4 drivers doing 24 hours. Nuremberg Ring is a 9.5 minute lap, 160 corners.
Holy.
In the
That's
dark.
a lot of that's just seems silly. This is funny. Positive Mike, good friend of mine, old sponsor, and he asked, "Do you do any karting?"
Absolutely.
Karting
yeah. Go ahead,
it's
Dylan.
funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was just going to say it's funny because yes, I know you're into karting, but you kind of took it a step further than the actual karting, because this thing right here is yours, mister. And that looks a little better and faster than a fucking go-kart, I might say.
Yeah. So this was a work of passion from a really good friend of mine, and a couple of us who were able to join him in this adventure to taking a stock, car that you and I could buy on the street, our summer car, you could say, and turning it into a full, legit endurance sports car. So this is a 2004 Nissan 350Z. It is there is not much left of that 350Z. The poor guy we bought it off of. It was his poor summer car. That thing had never seen a winter. This thing was just stunning. The blue car is original. The paint is original. And this car was we didn't have the heart to tell him we were going to gut it. But this thing is completely replaced, full roll cage, full suspension system, full electronics, 5G modem. We can dial into it with a laptop and change it on the fly. We can diagnose on the fly, full camera systems. So we compete in sports car endurance racing with this car, doing 16-hour races. So we do that, a couple different series here in Canada. We have the Lucky Dog Racing, and in the States we have American Endurance Racing, or AER. And so we have built this thing to take a bunch of guys who love to race and have some time on their hands to build a race car and actually compete. So we just finished our first year last year, did really well, blew a couple motors, blew a couple transmissions, did a little bit of this and that, but no crashes, no injuries. Everybody did well. The team did well. We learned so much. We didn't know how to do a pit stop. There's so much that involved in refueling these cars and all that stuff. So yeah. So I see a question from Mike here, actually. That's a great question. So yeah, Mike, I actually worked for the Canadian NASCAR Pinty Series last year with the driver Malcolm Strong, who races for Brave Motorsports. I was Malcolm's spotter. So in those cars, you can't see much. You can't see out of the sides, right? So I sit way up in the stands with the other spotters, and I coach the driver around the lap. So when there's cars around him, I can kind of give him an idea as to what to see. So yeah, and I hope to be back at it this year, actually, and do that with Malcolm.
It's pretty amazing how you got your start in karting and then you graduate into that car. And it's funny, we had this conversation where you said, we bought this car off this kid and he thought we were just going to do this and that was his baby and he literally fucking tore it apart.
There are pictures.
Sorry,
Bondzee,
bud.
I'll bring them on another time where that car is just, there's a trip. There's nothing. Like there's just nothing in it. And there's not even like, there's no dash left in it. It's all custom. We built everything. That Brian, who has done the majority of the work on that car, has fabricated every piece for it. It's really a work of art. It's also really stinking fast. And there's just a certain sound that car makes that, we'll be at a race, we'll be at an event, there'll be 40, 50 other cars. And every time our car goes around, we know it's that one because that motor just has that tone to it that we hear every time, which is just a really funny, cool thing to have when you're out there, right?
Because of your smarts in the industry of building things and everything's computers these days, and you literally made that car to run on a computer, literally like F1 and all that stuff. Is it how fast does that car go? And you actually. Not only did you buy that car and be a part of this team and stuff, but you actually race too, pal, in that car. What is some of the top speeds you've hit in that car?
So top speed is always one of those things because there's really no speedometer in a race car typically. We have one in there because we've got digital screens. We can see everything. We have every piece of data in that car. That car's doing about just over 200 kilometers an hour. Into the most high-speed parts of tracks in Ontario. Now that sounds a lot for a street car, but like we're talking Formula One cars are doing 350, 320, right? Like the speed thing is different, but I will tell you from being in one of those sports cars, into that car you saw there, the blue car a little while ago, that when you hit 170, 180, 190, when that speedometer gets up there, it's a different world. You feel the air differently. You feel the air coming in this window nets, right? There's no glass. There's a windshield, but there's no side windows, right? You feel that air coming and you feel that pressure. You feel being behind the car in front of you. And this is with, basically a car you can buy off the, showroom floor. So to be into a Formula car where you have all these wings and all this stuff, like,
that's got to be one hell of a rush driving a car that fast in tight, heavy corners with cars. And you do endurance racing. It's like you said, these F1 cars are going 350 plus, but they're only doing 50, 60 laps in a short period of time. You guys are racing 24 hours. I got to ask this question. When you are in a partnership like this and there's a bunch of drivers because you are driving for extended periods of time, what happens if you're the asshole that crashes that car? Are you blacklisted? Or are you booted off the team and go, motherfucker, you better write a check before your ass leaves that door too?
So like everything in life, Bondzee, it depends, right? So what are we gonna do? Well, who knows? What were you, an idiot? Were you door banging the guy down the backstretch because he freaking cut you off and you couldn't let it go in your head? And we've got full cameras on the car. We got full data acquisition. I know exactly what he was doing with his feet. I know what gears he's in. I can see him in the car because I have cameras. Not saying that the red haze, doesn't, or the red mist or whatever they call it, doesn't really get to you. It gets to you after time. But endurance racing is about pace, and it's about working inside your ability, not going outside that, letting things go. It's about getting home, right? You got to get that car home before you can ever win a race, and that's the thing. And sometimes you're in the rain, and sometimes it's at night, and sometimes there's a lot of challenges. Sometimes you're not the fastest car out there. Sometimes you're nursing an issue. We had a race a couple of years ago where for about 6 hours, we nursed a blown rear differential in the car. And we could get the car home. We could, as long as we drove it in a certain way, right? And there's a certain amount of success in that where you're able to get it over the line, even though it's compromised. Like Bondzee, you and I on the dirt bikes last week. We got out there, and my front tire's flat. We're 100 miles or 100 minutes from nowhere, and my front tire's flat. Well, what do we do?
Do you, and part of my ignorance of this and stuff, and I haven't followed, we only just met, in the past couple months, but when you're out there racing in these 24-hour period, and you might have different weather conditions, rain, sun, I don't know if you're getting where in Canada, you might get some fucking hail all of a sudden and stuff. Is this a thing where you're changing tires and stuff? Or is it specific tire for this car and this type of racing that you just stick with?
So we really try to get as long as we can on a set of tires, both financially. It's a ton of money to be changing tires all the time. And then secondly, changing tires on production cars like these take a long time. This isn't like NASCAR where the guys are going out and just going bop, 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 or Formula One where it's one center hub and they got a gun on it and they go. We got to sort of do it the old fashioned way. So to do that takes a lot of time in the pits, and any time lost in the pits is time lost on track, right? So we typically try and find a pace. We typically try and find a setup in the car, and we typically then try and find a tire that's suitable that can get us both the distance and do that quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Positive Mike wants to know if you do any rally racing and stuff. I know you're big into it. Do you do any of it? Are you involved in it at all? No,
unfortunately not. It's something I'd always wanted to do. I think the rally racers are probably, if I had to say, like, what if somebody asked me, who are the best drivers in the world? What part of racing? I'd probably have to say the rally guys. Sideways 200, like sideways 200 in the bush on the
sideways in a bush, and there's cliffs and trees and the roads are this big and wide, and it's like, yeah, those guys are. So I mean, that's a two-team thing, right? There's the driver, but that motherfucker sitting in the passenger seat going left hard, like that's a thing, right? You have to have mad skill for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, absolutely. Yeah, you got. If that guy tells you the wrong thing, you're done, right? you're not going the right way. You're going off that cliff, right? So, there's some race cars in here right now.
live on Bondzee, Trippin With Bondzee. We got badass cars just starting up. That sounds sexy. That one sounds like it needs some fucking work, though. It sounds like it's a grumpy old bear that just woke up out of the den in the spring.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see. Oh, you know what? Oh, it's a bike. That's why it's a motorcycle. I was like, wow, that sounds weird.
I really appreciate all this. The simulator, your own racing stuff has been amazing. I love seeing you live at your car club. Let's get into the reason you're here. It's a brand new series. We're going to do this every Friday, folks. Lest you think I just choked. I don't know what it is tonight. That's twice. It never happens to me. Let's talk about, we're going to do this brand new series. It's called Breaking News. We're going to talk F1, NASCAR, and Indy. It's not going to be this long every Friday, folks. I know we got gearheads out there that love this, but we also got to cater to everybody else. So we're going to make it quick little segments, but I wanted to introduce you to everybody, show that I'm not lying when I say I have an expert of car racing on. You fucking build the things. You race, you're into it all, and your knowledge. Yeah. You have friends in NASCAR. You got spotter friends. We're going to have some of them on the shows, on upcoming shows as well. I'm stoked for that. You got NASCAR spotters. That's an amazing, huge thing out there in the world. But let's start with F1 first, dude, because this is where it's at. Is F1 the tits in the racing world? Is it better than NASCAR? Who holds the trophy?
I mean, that's such a hard thing, right? I mean, you ask somebody in the U.S., maybe in the South,
Americans love that NASCAR,
core,
though, don't they?
their core audience, they're going to be all out for that. They don't but I like to think that any racer loves racing, and they don't really care what it is as long as it's racing and two humans are competing, and in this amazing piece of engineering machinery. The work that goes into these Formula One cars are hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and thousands of people trying to build these things. Same goes, there you go. You can see our race car getting a little fix in there.
Worked on right there, yeah.
Yeah, right. Timing. It is the pinnacle of motorsports that, it has been called. It is where it seems like every young racer wants to be. And then we can kind of take that from Kevin Magnussen, who was racing IndyCar for the last year and had the call back to race in Formula One. And instead of staying with his IndyCar program that he had been building, immediately right back to Formula One. So maybe you can take a little bit from that. F1.
I guess on the grand scale of things, worldwide, F1 would be the shit. And then North American wise, probably NASCAR's up there. Close second would be Indy for sure. let's talk quickly. We're going to get into F1, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. F1 has never really taken off in North America. We have a track in Texas, right, in Austin. I've actually driven by it. I didn't get to go when it was closed. But things are changing in that aspect, aren't they? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So a couple things. I mean, really, obviously, let's not, we need to focus on Netflix and what that series has done for that sport, right? And that's
my
globally.
God.
But
right?
Of course, that's, North America is a massive audience and consumer of media, as we all know. So when Netflix creates a series that is so compelling and so polarizing, and they do it so well, and they make it so dramatic, and it is dramatic. It's racing hundreds and hundreds of $1 million at hundreds of kilometers an hour. Of course, it's going to be intense and amazing. So they've done a great job capturing that and really playing that back for the average, sport watcher, right? And it's really brought a lot of people to the game, and that's been fantastic. And that's what that's done is that's driven attendance at races like Circuit of the Americas in Texas. It's created now we have another race now in Miami this year. That's a new track that they're bringing.
Right.
They've raced at Indianapolis before, way back in the day in the early 2000s. And so that
the Miami circuit's coming up this year, if I'm not
it is.
wrong, right?
It is. Absolutely.
They're not going to Texas; they're going to Miami this year.
Yeah, that's right. So what we've got, we're actually having a little event called Miami Vice here at the club that night. So that'll be pretty fun. So you can infer what that means. Yeah. So you know what? The series has helped a lot, but also, we've got some news that potentially, not that potentially, they sort of signed the letter of intent that Andretti Motorsport, a famous American name, Mary Andretti, multi-time champion, Michael Andretti as well, his son, who's now running Andretti Motorsports. They have signed a letter of intent to enter Formula One in a couple years. So that's going to be really amazing. The idea there is that they bring American drivers now into Formula One to be able to drive. Of course, there is an American team, Haas F1, but they typically are funded internationally and they operate as a European team. So really, there hasn't been a lot of American drivers involved in Formula One in quite some time. So we need to change that, obviously, to bring that market, right? So Andretti really aims to do that. And he's hoping to do that with a young driver named Colton Herta. And Colton is racing with IndyCar right now. He's son of multi-time champion Brian Herta, who's been in the sport many, many years. So that'll be really cool to see. I can't wait for that.
It would for sure. And here's the reason why, for those who don't know, and I'm not sitting here pretending to be some fucking expert in stuff, but Chris, what I've learned from the Netflix series and how I've come to understand why there isn't more Canadians and even Americans in F1 is because it's not something where, I'm 21 or 20 and I'm going to jump in an F1 car. This starts way back in the day when you're 10, 12, 13 years old, karting in the karting series, like Positive Mike said. These kids start, and it's not it's prevalent in the US and North America, but if you want to have any shot at making the Formula One, Formula 2, Formula 3 series, you have to move and be in the European circuit at a young age, correct?
Yeah, that is absolutely
and
true.
have to have a fucking deep pocket.
Oh, that's for sure, right? I mean, I've heard it said many, many times. Back in the day when cigarette sponsorship was involved in motorsports, there was a lot of money. There's money for everything. There's money to run all multiple teams. Obviously, and they killed that years ago, right? And that took a lot of funding from a lot of teams. And now they're really trying to challenge right now is to define motorsports, the investor who wants to be involved, who wants to be sponsoring, what that looks like. I'm a techie, so I come from that side of the game where I think that this is the pinnacle of engineering. And I think that really high tech companies should be your main sponsorship for racing and stuff like that. Isn't this what we're doing, right? We want to engineer and innovate, and push everything forward, right?
Yeah. And listen, and I mentioned this, and it is a thing, but it is amazing, and we are proud as Canadians. We do have 2 Canadians currently racing in F1, and it bounces in and out, and these kids have made the commitment and stuff, and it's been amazing to see that. They're not doing the greatest of stuff, but at least they're there. Americans, not so much. Like you said, it's not a big thing down there, but it is growing. But I kind of want to jump off this subject because I've kept you long enough. We had a bunch of stuff to talk about NASCAR and Indy, but I want to regulate it to just F1 before I let you go.
Let's do it.
F1 has really changed in 2022. Can you quickly explain why the new changes, what the new changes are? I mean, it's almost everything. New cars, new wheels, new tires, new fuel. Why all the new changes? And explain them for me real quick.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for sure. So 2022 has brought a whole ton of new changes to Formula One. So regular Ferrari car. Not regular, I mean very, very expensive Ferrari car. Even more expensive Ferrari real F1 car here.
Look at the size of these vehicles.
So they are absolutely. If anybody ever gets a chance to go to one of these races and see the size of this vehicle, this is bigger than a Suburban, right? I mean, Chevy Suburban on the road, 7-passenger and all that. This is a bigger vehicle. It is insane how big they are. I mean, obviously with the size, that makes them safer, right? There's more crumple area around the driver, and that allows the drivers to be, to go faster and to take more risk, right? But in 2022, we did a lot of different things to these vehicles. So one was a major aerodynamic overhaul. So all the aerodynamics have been changed. All the rules around that have been changed. They went to what we call ground effect. So right now, these cars are really, it's all about the wing underneath the car or the floor of the car. What that did is allows the cars to really plant themselves to the track. It allows the other cars to follow closer behind them, not so disturbed by all the dirty aerodynamics coming off the car. When you have a car with all those wings at 330 kilometers an hour, there's going to be a lot of weight coming off that, and that's really hard for another car to operate in. So in doing this, they're trying to minimize that sort of aerodynamic wash, they call it, and get the cars closer together so they can pass and they can be tighter to each other in race. The other things they've done really around the wheels. So this is a thing that, everybody, when I say it, when you look at the wheel there, you're like, oh yeah, maybe Formula One car used to have little tiny wheels and big, giant beach ball tires, right? And I think maybe people have seen that slow-mo look where the car comes through the scene and it's in super slow-mo and you see the tire cavity just going back and forth, right? So this year they went from a 13 to an 18-inch rim, which is a little bit more like your road car, right? So the tire technology and the rims are a little bit more, a little bit more in line with cars, right? Really running a big giant bouncy tire on a 13-inch rim has no application in any other situation. So getting the tires there, obviously that's going to change a lot on the car. It's going to make them heavier. Those wheels are just heavier.
That's a big jump from 13 to 18 inches, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you go from basically having like a balloon tire that's just bouncing around. It's a suspension piece because it's bouncing to this fully stiff, heavier, wheel. So, I mean, really, you've got now to re-engineer a car so that it handles differently, and the braking and the weight shift is going to be different, all over the place there. And then what they did is they changed the fuel as well. They went to an ethanol 10.
5% to E10 this year. Carbon footprint, is that the reason? Where are we going with that?
A little bit of that, yeah. I think sometimes it's a bit more
temperature issues, maybe.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So when you change fuel like that, you start to create a whole bunch of issues, other knock-on effects that kind of come with changing fuel. So we saw our boys there, Red Bull, the champions from last year, and with their first race this year, not doing so hot. And when the guys sort of peeled that fuel tank open, they found that the pump down at the bottom looked like it was a bit overworked. So, maybe that's something that they changed
let's
the fuel.
talk about that, Chris. Is that what happened? I mean, we just had the first race of the season, the Bahrain. Is that how you say it? Bahrain?
Yep.
Bahrain Grand Prix. It was the first race. Everything was going swimmingly for the entire race. It was kind of as expected. Ferrari's looking really good. Mercedes is still trying to dial in their new car, but you had Red Bull that was right up there. It was Ferrari, Red Bull on the pole positions and stuff, and until the very end of the race, it was pretty much status quo with Ferrari, Red Bull, and then Lewis in fifth place. And then all of a sudden at the end with between 5 and 3 laps to go, both Red Bull cars done. How does that happen, bro? Please explain. Because I'm a noob.
Yeah. How does it happen? I mean, it's a testament to how much these cars are prototypes, right? Like nothing in the world exists like this. Every part in that car is built only for that car. There's no other application, right?
Can I cut you off for 1 second? Because I have to ask this. When Verstappen wins the world championship last year for the first time, finally knocks off Lewis Hamilton, Red Bull wins the constructors, they finally beat fucking Mercedes, and then many months later, and you've got a brand new car, brand new everything. How come it's off the charts? Mercedes kind of isn't dialed in like they were. Red Bull looked like they were dialed in, but they're not. And then all of a sudden, Ferrari comes out of nowhere, and they got the fucking tits car of the 2022. How does it go from you're the best to a few months later you can't even finish the fucking 57 lap race? Not one car, but both. How does this happen, Chris?
I mean, I think this is why we love sports so much, right? The chance of this, any given Sunday, right? You know, any one of these things can happen. But I mean, really, it is a testament to, you know, how unique these parts are, how difficult it is to do something like this. And when you see both cars like this drop out within about 5 minutes of each other, that really starts pointing
how
to
rude,
a common element.
By the way.
You know? Yeah. I mean, I don't, you know, I gotta.
And I
the amount of
understand
energy.
only one race.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things,
but look at the last year. It came down to how many points for the win? Like we were like half points. So yeah, it's only one race, but one race is a lot of points, right?
The fact that Red Bull gets 0.0 points in the very first race. Does this put them behind the 8 ball right away, or is it it's a long season? It really means nothing. Like Positive Mike said, it's only one race. Are they going to be able to bounce right back, or how do you see this panning out?
Well, I mean, it really puts my F1 fantasy pool in jeopardy. I will tell you that.
Well, that aside, mister.
Man, live by the sword, die by it, right? So, yes, it does put them behind the 8 ball. This week, they would have had to put work into solving that problem that they would have otherwise be upgrading that car with. The one common denominator in all racing is man hours. There's only so much time available to work on the car. The more time you have to do things, the more you can change, make it better, test, do all that stuff. When you're now having to fix a problem, now you're running out of time for other things that you want to do. So yes, it puts them behind the 8 ball because they got no points. Right, so they're 25 points shy of Ferrari now, or whatever. We could look at the standings, right? Whatever that is. But you know, not only are they behind in points, but now they're behind in time working on the car, and of course they've got, you know, potential. When you have failures like that, you could also injure other parts of the car, and some of those parts you can only use a certain amount of times, or you can only switch them out a certain amount of times a year. So, you know, if you run out of parts, now you start picking up penalties late in the year, and that's not good for anybody. So Red Bull needs to get their stuff together. They've got a car that can perform. It is as fast as the Ferrari. It's funny that we say it like that, but that is the way it is right now. Ferrari is the fastest car. You can see them behind me here. They are the fastest car. Red Bull is number 2 if they can get it to the end of the race. And then it really is a scrap for third right now. Who is there? You know, Hamilton and Mercedes are struggling. That car has not performed the way. They have a very out there design concept. It's very interesting. It's very different than everything else in the car on the field. Sorry, and so they got to figure their stuff out too. And then you've got
what do we see? Sorry, what do we see coming up for this weekend then? Is Mercedes fucking more dialed in, and with these new 2022 regulations with new gas, new rims, new aerodynamic stuff, like they've literally changed a lot. Who's going to dial it in the best this weekend? What are we seeing so far? Is Red Bull going to fix their shit? Are we going to finish a race with one or both cars? Is Mercedes going to be kind of more in the mix than they were? Or is Ferrari going to continue to dominate?
I think it's the last one there. I think this is going to be a lot of last week. I think we're going to see Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari really continue to show what the Ferrari can do. I think we're going to see Max and Checo Perez right behind them. I think you're going to see sort of Mercedes a bit, you know, in between. I think we're going to see, you know, we're watching free practice 2 here from Saudi Arabia that's on right now. So we're actually just checking out what the cars look like here at the track from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. So we're gonna really see what they've got, but it looks like it's pretty much the same as last time, which hopefully my fantasy pool now works out if these guys can make it to the end of the race. But yeah, I think you're gonna see Ferrari at the top. I think you're gonna see Red Bull right behind.
Well, listen, I'm a Max Verstappen fan. I've loved what Lewis Hamilton has done over his career. He's getting up there. It's time for some new blood. I'm looking forward to. They had some bad blood last year, folks. Go watch the F1 series, Drive to Survive. I've told you a million times. If you're not listening by now, that's your own fault. It's an amazing rivalry that they got going on. It's about time somebody stepped up to challenge Lewis Hamilton, because F1 was kind of fucking boring, dude, for a long time. I remember loving it as a kid. I remember falling out of love with it because it just got really boring. And then I enjoyed, from the outside looking in, watching Lewis Hamilton dominate and kick ass as a British fella, you know. Where my parents are from, so it was kind of cool to see that. But and now it's really cool to see Max Verstappen come in and take over, and he's aggressive, and he's not going to take shit. It's been really fun. I loved what happened last season. I'm stoked for this season, even though it seems so different all of a sudden. Like when you think you're dialed in and you know what's going on with the teams and who's going to be where and what, all of a sudden all these new rules and poof, everything has changed. Ferrari's the tits again, where they used to be years ago. Mercedes, not so much. It doesn't look like Mercedes has the car where Lewis is going to dominate every single race now. Red Bull, somewhere in the middle, and then we'll see what, I just dropped my fucking, never mind. I'm excited for the rest of the Formula One series. I have my hand pipe in my hand. It's almost like my, what do you call that thing? Your teether. And it's like an OCD thing, which we're going to get to in a second. I need that in my hand to just play with, and I feel in a zone. I just dropped it. Now I feel out of sorts. So hold the fuck on. I'm going to go pick it up.
Okay,
so I can
Chris.
get back on track.
Chris, we were talking before the podcast started in the green room. What's your take on Formula One E coming? I think it's coming to Vancouver in June.
Yeah.
What's your take on that in a short little condensed version? What do you think?
Formula E has been an amazing undertaking.
Hey, stop
by
yelling
several
at me.
teams over the last couple of years. The nice thing about Formula E is it's brought racing to city centers. Formula E really sort of tries to feature their races in a very metropolitan center, right? Racing in downtown
Much
Berlin.
like the street.
Yeah, exactly. So they really want to bring the race to the people as opposed to like going out to the countryside where they've got room to make a giant track, right? So, and of course, Formula E has lots of mandates and trying to, create racing that is, eco-friendly, and really trying to bring in a lot of interesting, gimmicks and fun arcadey bits. Like there's a fan vote where you can vote for a driver and it'll boost their engine because it's a.
Are you a fan as a motorsports person yourself? Are you a fan of it, or what's your? Where are you at?
I'm a fan of racing, and some of the drivers that are competing in the Formula E series are ridiculous levels of drivers, ex-F1 drivers, top of the game. What I don't love about those tracks, or about that racing, is the tracks themselves. I don't love the start-stop nature, the tight courses. I love a street course, but even Monaco, Formula One's, pinnacle race of Monaco.
100%.
It's more of a parade than it is a race. There's no room. You saw the pictures.
It's the toughest race class in the world, right? If you don't do good in qualifying and get a good pole spot, you're fucked in Monaco, right?
100%.
And again, these cars are the size of a Suburban. How are you going to get two Suburbans going at each other in the streets of Monaco, right?
Right.
Look at this. When you look at the cockpit, you can kind of start to see where the driver's legs only go up to that front.
He's a widow guy in the big car.
Yeah, exactly. Seriously. It's just 100%. A little person in a giant vehicle. And so when you get those guys, and you can't see anything sitting in that thing, right? You can't see out the side of the car. So,
that's right.
Trying to get all that into an urban center in a really tight race, I get what they're doing, and I love it. Because any racing is more racing is better always. You know, I just don't love the tracks. I just can't get into that too.
Yeah, no, valid point. It's coming to Vancouver June or July, I think, of this year.
Yeah, that's
Formula
right.
E.
Yep.
And I mean, the cars are cool. Here's one of the cars that's in the
Yeah.
Formula E circuit.
Hey, look at how crazy that thing is, right?
Yeah,
Like it's just one big giant piece of aerodynamics.
That's right.
And of course, like the technology
Wow.
here, the batteries, right? You know, this is all stuff that will get to production, hybrid and battery powered cars, right?
Yeah.
This is all valid engineering that these guys are doing here to build these batteries to be able to, you know, can you imagine, you know, you turn this thing down, you know, and let it, you know, put it in your Prius, how long that battery will probably last, you know.
Yeah.
So those types of, you know, that type of engineering, this is why that sport is it's a great sport. It needs to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I fully agree with you, Chris. I just wanted your take on that. Before you go, you were showing your simulator. I'll get into this. I know Chris is here. This is my buddy Pete's setup.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I had
Um,
just wanted to quickly show you before I left.
Yeah. So I know every piece of what is happening and what is going on there right now.
Yeah, I know,
That's
right?
that's a nice piece of kit right there. I love those pedals.
Yeah.
The same pedals. I love his belt tensioner in the back there. That's really cool.
Look at his
that's nice.
steering. This is his
What's the
steering wheel
friends
collection.
discount on that? Like $3,000. I get it for $3,000, right? Not 15.
Yeah, maybe 7.
He's like,
you
yeah,
know?
fuck you, Bondzee. We're not that close.
Yeah. The motion
All
system's about $5,000 alone, so
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
walk it back from that kind of thing, right? So
Listen,
Anyway,
it
Chris,
was amazing.
I love you, man. I'm out.
Thanks
Thank
so
you,
much,
guys.
Chris, for
We'll see you
taking
next
the time.
week.
I know this
Really
is a lot
appreciate
more
it.
racing talk than we've kind of planned, but it was fascinating, and people stuck with this. The background that you've got going on at your car club kind of really sold it. Your knowledge just sells it. Not only do you know everything about F1, Indy, NASCAR, which we didn't even get to touch base on tonight, but dude, you race cars. You just drip, bleed, and love racing, and the people are into it tonight. The comments have been amazing, and I had no idea that people were into racing as much as they are that listen to the show. So I am really, really looking forward to every single Friday. It's breaking news with Chris Cram. Your fucking knowledge is awesome, dude. Thanks so much for joining us, showcasing the car club. This was a lot of fun, bro.
this is awesome. Appreciate you guys having me on. Looking forward to doing it next time.
Dude, enjoy the F1 racing this weekend. I'm going to miss watching it here at the Hip Bar on the 3 different TVs, sitting beside the expert and getting all the expert kind of advice and knowledge that when I watch a race as sort of a noob, and I'm an F1 expert because of Netflix. You're an F1 expert
That's all
because
right.
you really fucking love it and have delved into it for years. But listen, it's a new passion of mine. I'm excited to bring this to people every Friday. God, I love you. I'm going to miss you for the race this Sunday, but I'll be back in Ontario, and I'm looking forward to coming to that club and hearing some of those cars fired up live in person.
Absolutely. Let's go for a little tour. Should be good.
This was a treat, bud.
Can't wait,
Thanks so
buddy.
much, man.
Take care, man. We'll see you soon.
You take care. Chris Cram, everybody. Go follow him on social media. It's at Cramman on Instagram.
Cram, he was
Cram-Man.
awesome.
He
was
man.
awesome. He
Fucking
was.
right.
Chris,
Well,
big
listen,
fan, man. Big
Speaking
fan.
of awesome, we got a super awesome dude here. This guy loves beer more than anything anybody I've ever met in my life.
He's probably going to
He's
open
a
with
25-year
fucking
war
time you got
veteran,
with
served
me.
in Afghanistan with some of the best, including we have a mutual best friend in Pat Molden.
Jimmy!
And we also have a surprise leprechaun. It's what did they call him? It wasn't even it's
Peter.
Larry the
Peter.
leprechaun, wasn't it?
It's not
the
Peter. It's
leprechaun.
not fucking Peter.
Peter the leprechaun.
Peter the leprechaun. Jimmy,
It's
everybody.
Patty the fucking leprechaun.
It's Patty
Oh.
the leprechaun.
He's a
Sorry,
little bit,
I won't, I
buddy.
won't give you a hard time like Locke.
For those of you kids at home watching this, Jimmy may have been on a brewery tour at like 11 a.m. and he's still he's still going hard in the paint.
Well, listen, that's what happens when you're a superstar. Midget leprechaun like our buddy little Jimmy. And
Wow.
God damn it, if he doesn't love it, folks, if you haven't caught his Jedi Jimmy podcast on the Dean Blundell Network on YouTube, do yourself a favor.
Yeah, you have
Even if
not
you
lived
don't
a
like
life.
Star Wars, well, like I don't, never seen a second of a movie in my life, I watch Jedi Jimmy's podcast because this dude I've never met a fella who likes Star Wars more than you, pal. And listen,
Hey, I'm in, Jamie.
100% curious about doing this new podcast together with you, where I will regrettably almost watch Star Wars movies and come on your Jedi Jimmy podcast and talk about them and give the feedback as a noob of the Star Wars world.
And you should. He'll take hours off your life. Look
at that. Jimmy podcast, everybody go check it out on it's everywhere out there. Spotify, DeanBlundell.com, YouTube. Go check it out. Anyways, Army Kris, thanks for joining me. It's Bondzee Live, Trippin with Bondzee. We're at the Hit Bar in San Juan Del Sur. Listen, let's talk some OCD for a minute, bro, because it's not the biggest problem in the entire world. There's certainly bigger issues, but it's a problem out there for some people, and it's a problem that most people have some OCD, but it doesn't affect their everyday life. Am I correct in that?
You are correct, and I happen to have with me a lovely young lady named Michaela Wilson, who actually is diagnosed with OCD. Not the kind that you and I talk about, but we will talk about that. I'm going to slide over, make some room.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's Bondzee Live.
The great and powerful Grant Johnson's bride-to-be. Everybody give it up for Michaela.
Hello.
Welcome, Michaela.
I am so sorry that you're Grant's other half, but congratulations. And
he's sitting over there
Don't
drinking.
be sorry.
Grant, big fan, by the way, buddy. Sorry about that.
So, in all seriousness, there's the daily OCD we talk about. Where I have OCD, and I'm very much that guy for sure. But that's more of a military thing where I'm fucking very much regimented.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into that.
There's the actual. It's a mental illness that is detrimental to your livelihood, and Michaela has been diagnosed with that. So which way do you want? Which direction you want to go with this?
Well, I'll start with this, Michaela. Could you welcome to the show? But could you please tell us what exactly you have OCD? You're diagnosed with it. What is this? What is your? I don't even know the right terminology. What is your quirk, if for lack of a better term, and how bad does it affect your everyday life?
So I was diagnosed with CPTSD, so child post-traumatic stress, and I developed OCD from that. And I remember from a young age, and this might sound weird to some, and it actually might resonate to some. I used to look at a cup of pens as a child, and because I was so secluded and so isolated from my family, I used to want the pens to be in pairs. I felt so much that my isolation should be represented in inanimate objects. It stemmed so much from that. But there's little things like, people think that you're super clean from OCD, cleanliness. I love it. And I want my house to be clean. But also, when the mess gets away from me, the first thing you can tell if my mental health is off is when my house is getting away from me. I feel absolutely just stunned and like I can't even move when the mess feels too overwhelming.
It's sad. And is there days, is there reasons or certain things that happen when you wake up in the morning, Michaela? Do you just go, fuck it, I can't deal with today, and then the house slips away and that triggers the OCD worse? Or how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. I really strive for my routine, and if my routine is off, it can trigger it. It really depends. I have 2 kids, 2 and 4. And so of course you have to be easygoing with that. And actually in nature, I'm super easygoing, but if my OCD is triggered, then I can start to get some extreme anxiety or panic attacks because of that.
And so how does this affect your everyday life? And you do have 2 kids, 2 and 4, that depend on their mom, and you want to be there for them and stuff. is it something that you just soldier through and get through and figure it out, or does it actually manipulate your life in a way where you need help?
You know, I do on occasion seek help from my therapist at this point, but I got some really good treatment for my CPTSD from a really great doctor in Edmonton, Alberta. And he performed EMDR on me, which really helped. And now at this time, like, I have an amazing partner. So when I'm having those days, I can talk to Grant.
Way to go,
That
Grant.
guy right there.
And he supports me
The
a
great and
lot.
powerful Grant Johnson.
Yeah, and
My only source of news on the fucking planet. I promise you that.
best source of news. And that's actually
And he's shit-faced right now.
that's another thing is the news. Like, if you have OCD right now and you're hearing all of that news, like, it's a really good thing to have a support person like let you know, like, here's what the reality is, and you don't need to like dwindle off and get your mind racing. You know, he's good with the fake news stuff.
So if I may ask, and if I'm being too personal, you can tell me to shut the fuck up and mind my own business. But is this something that when you got diagnosed, is there a medication for this, or is that something you're on, or how when you got diagnosed with it, what are the doctors and stuff doing to help you, Michaela, with your diagnosis of OCD?
Actually, I've never been on any kind of medication for OCD or PTSD. I've actually only ever been on medication for depression and anxiety. I was on Ativan for a very short time. It was just emergency style Ativan, and I don't really take that anymore. And it's mostly just breathing techniques. And actually, I have a breathing technique that my doctor showed me that I used for my birth with my son. I gave birth in a car to my son.
In a car?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And
Most people have them in a hospital or at home in the tub or something.
No.
I
had him in the Jeep.
And listen, I'm going to jump in and with a follow-on interjectory question because I'm good at those. At Michaela Yoga, do you think that yoga has helped you? Because that breathing's part of that, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like yoga has helped you balance your life and everything?
Absolutely.
Not that I want to start levitating and singing Kumbaya, right? It's not my thing. Because I'm going to explain my fake version of OCD in a second. But I wanted her to come on and tell her story about what real fucking OCD is, not the shit that you and I think we have day to day.
Yeah.
And what gets you through the day. Because Bondzee asked you a good question. Are you on meds? No. But you have other things in your life. And I know she runs a yoga studio, by the way. So like that's
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm really glad that you, Chris, did this. This was a surprise to me, folks. All the questions I asked
coming over,
you totally fucking didn't tell me he was bringing on a legit, like, and I don't mean to make a joke of this. I'm so sick of seeing Lachlan's ass up in the air and fucking Instagram.
That's not Lachlan, is it?
Yeah.
You know, all jokes aside,
His
I
ass
have
was up
OCD.
in the air when he fucking got in the Uber today.
Chris has OCD. I lived with the motherfucker for 12 days whilst I was in Edmonton after spending time at Lachlan's house, babysitting his house. But and now it's amazing to speak to somebody who actually has been diagnosed and stuff. And you know, we kind of joke about it. We've joked about it on Dean's show. It was a quick little blurb we did about some OCD stuff in our quirks one day. But listen, I'm so glad you took the time to join us, come on here, really educate people about somebody, because as much as we do joke, and I mean, there's people out there like, what's his name? The fucking guy from America's Got Talent, comedian, who can't touch anybody. He's always the fist bumping guy. You know, he's got OCD out the ass. And
Howie Mandel.
That fucking clown. I can't stand him. That's why I couldn't remember his name.
Howie Mandel says he has OCD.
He's got OCD really bad, and he's got
like fucking legit OCD, or
he's a clean freak.
He's a full germaphobe, but it is an OCD thing. And listen, OCD is one of those things
the thing is like most hoarders have OCD. I'm not a hoarder. There's lots of like different types you can tell. Like for me, it was mostly when I was a child. So after I got the EMDR treatment, it really does not come out that often.
What is this treatment you speak
go
of?
back
I
to
saw
that.
it pop up in the comments. Can you briefly explain that? What is the EMDR?
EMDR is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, and it was developed during the Korean War for soldiers with PTSD.
She's the Cliff Clavin of fucking this show, man.
Right? Holy shit.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, wow. I thought we were just gonna
Chris,
get
can you just step aside, bud? I'm
Well,
just gonna interview
right?
Michaela
I'll just leave, man. You don't need me here.
So
Yeah.
with PTSD, you have certain situations where you're really struggling. They're replaying in your head, and it's really hard to process those things. For me, it was mostly as a child, and then it stemmed into adulthood, those situations. So when I had EMDR, I remember saying to my therapist, like, is this just a placebo? Like, you're helping me, but what's happening? Because he's doing this tick-tock motion with his hand while he's making me replay these situations. And truly, it helped me so, so much. And it never goes away truly, but when you replay those situations of abuse or trauma that you've gone through in your head, instead of it making you absolutely freeze or physically do something or whatever happens to you with PTSD. It could be many different things. It could stem into OCD, like as a very little child for me with those, I need all these pens to be together so they're not lonely. It really helps you process those things and grow and learn, and you can move forward with your life. It reprograms your brain to be able to process.
I'm loving this. I'm a big fan. I would love to get in touch with you and talk more about EMDR. And I think this is maybe, like I said, Chris threw me this curveball tonight. Army Kris did. He didn't even fucking tell me, Bondzee, I got a legit OCD person here. It's like, and again, I hate to make light or I hate to joke about this, but I want to make light of it. There's so many people that have do you get upset with people that say, I got OCD, like I have to touch things 4 times and then I can leave the house?
And that's what I want to talk about, because I was going to come on, Bonds, like we planned. Like my whole night went fucking left wheel, trust me. But in a good way, because I like partying with these people.
Of course. Well, you got the entire locker room at your house.
I got
throw a
2/3.
curveball. But listen, this has been fantastic, because even though, you and I were going to come on here and not joke about OCD, because it's no joke.
No,
I mean, I suffer from it, but I hate to use the word suffer because of people like Michaela who kind of really do suffer from it more. Now, listen, each one of us on the screen, 1, 2, 3 of us, all have PTSD. We suffer from a different form of PTSD because of
I think that's the point.
Traumatic events in our life, Chris. But
exactly. So I'm very structured in my space. And you lived here for fucking a couple weeks, man. And I'm very meticulous about where everything is, about cleanliness, about everything. And
you're
massively
massively
structured. And I get irritated. I'm not comfortable with
when I leave my cords all over the place and
you
stuff.
have an unnecessary amount of USB cords and reading glasses and shit and everything. It's not just you. That's funny. We're making light of that, and we should.
Of course.
You're welcome here anytime. You know that. But
of course,
I'm not used to people coming into my environment unless they're close to me. If you want to come into my space in my house, and if I can have Jimmy in here, fuck, I can have anybody in here. But it's like, I'm always constantly chasing around, picking up empties. I put all my keys, my wallet, my sunglasses going in the exact same spot.
Dude, your entire house is fucking like TikTok.
Fucking order, in the Army, dude. We call that right dress.
In your cupboard is all the rices are together. He's got different rices. He's got different pastas. He's got this sauce, this sauce. It is fucking boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and I'm not fucking Rain Man.
I'm not saying that. I don't even so much Chris thing. And this is what I was going to say to you tonight. I don't think, is that OCD or is that,
I don't know, because when I hear
25 years of military,
like maybe I'm just
it's very different.
Asshole,
I think it just affects us all differently. Like, And I think you could label yourself as OCD, or there's many people that have the same symptoms as you that need their house to be a very certain way. Like there are people that need to be super, super, super clean, super hygienic. They're very scared of any kind of illness or catching a cold or whatever it is.
And that's
so
the
there's
shit. That's the
so
shit
many
we don't know about, right?
Yeah.
Like we walk around, oh, I have OCD. Like, shut
Yeah.
the fuck up. Maybe you don't have OCD. Maybe you should talk to
Maybe
somebody
you're just fucked.
who has real fucking OCD and
Right.
find out what a bad mental illness that actually is versus your particular ways, right? So I'm trying to find the middle ground is what I guess I'm saying, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's sad because it's kind of one of those things that's not really talked about, because OCD only affects about 2.2 million people in the world, which is 1%, or not the world, sorry, in the North America, which is only 1% of the US population. But some of those 1%ers can't fucking leave their home because they can't wash their hands enough. The dishes aren't done. The vacuuming's not done. They haven't touched something 14 fucking thousand times. That fucking makes me sad. And I feel terrible for those people. So yes, Chris, when we joke and I joke and we say we have OCD, yes, we have OCD. There's different forms of it.
But not
It's
at
a
that
combination
level.
of genetic, environmental, and neurobiological risk factors that it's different in each and every one of us. And in Michaela, it's heavier than it is in me and you, Chris, in a different way. I think a lot of yours comes from, yes, it is definitely a side derivative of PTSD.
Sure,
which we all have, and unfortunately, it's affected Kayla a little heavier than you and I, Chris. Where I hate to like we joke about it, but it's still in our lives. It doesn't affect my daily life. It doesn't affect yours, Chris. I've seen you operate. You have a fucking system. You are tickety boo from the second you fucking wake up to the moment you go to bed. You have a regiment and a system. OCD, yes, maybe you could call it that, but not on the level that Michaela and some other heavier sufferers have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and that's why I feel bad. Like I'm just a regimented guy, with who went through some fucking shit, and I got diagnosed with PTSD, even though I don't think I have it. I think I'm a rock star, but I'm not, and I'm very structured in my life, and then that's how I want it to be, and then you start talking to people that have legitimate OCD by its medical definition, and you go, fucking whoa, man. I'm happy I'm not there,
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up. I am, my bladder's absolutely going to burst.
Oh,
It's
we
been
got some
fantastic
Grant's passed
talking to
out
you
in the
guys
chair over
about
there,
OCD.
We're wrapping this bitch up.
Okay, we need Jimmy in here and Grant. Where's the rest of the locker room? Get them fuckers off the couch.
Get out of the
Bring
way.
them in. Why don't you bring them in?
Yes.
Wrap with them for a sec, Glassy. I gotta go pee, or I gotta end the show right now. I'll be right back. You talk to Jimmy and Grant, and I'll be right back.
Bondzee, I heard your feet are swollen.
Hey, Grant. Listen, everything was swollen, and the fact I didn't think, not to brag, but I didn't think my penis could get any bigger, and it actually grew, Grant. So I was pretty lucky. Locke was all worried about getting COVID and stuff, and his pee-pee shrinking, and that. I got OCD, and I got some swelling body, liver stuff going on, and my penis grew too. So. Listen, a little bit of good comes with the bad.
Wow.
Bad comes with the good.
Was it the right penis?
And my buddy Jimmy, listen, I'd be remiss if I didn't say hello to you. Listen, I'm going to let you guys talk to Glassy here for a second. I'm almost remiss to do, but it's either that or
just go.
Just go.
All right.
Go pee, man.
We're gonna make fun of you.
Grant, how does your lady deal with your Yeti? Gotta know that.
My yacht?
Your Yeti.
This is her idea.
It was. Please tell me.
Before I met Michaela, I didn't have a beard. And it was her idea to keep growing it, and I've just kind of
but
continued
do we have to
it.
tell the story?
Okay. All right.
Tell the story. Tell the
Okay,
story.
so the
Tell the
story,
story. I don't even know the story.
is
I need
that,
to record this shit.
I think this is recorded, isn't it?
Yes.
Anyways,
And live.
when we first started dating, I was getting sliced up all over my face. Like, I don't know what it is, sensitive skin or whatever, but even just like a simple kiss, I'd get like a scratch. Like, I was like completely red. I looked like I had a beard.
Right.
He wasn't shaving down all the way.
I was just doing
I was like,
a razor on the
Crispy.
stubble.
Yeah.
And
you get-
just my cheeks. And I said, like, maybe like grow it out a little. And
Okay, grow it
then
out. Yeah.
Here we are today.
And congratulations recently on your new one. Congratulations.
Yeah, cheers. Is that a Caribou beer?
That's a Caribou. Yes. 100%.
Oh, yes. That's a cheap ass beer.
You know what? Okay, so I'm from BC. I went to Fort Mac. I worked at Rock 97.9. Up there, Brava is the same price as a 15-pack of Budweiser down here. So I drank Brava, and it was like the world's shittiest beer. And you know Chris Byrne, you know of him? Yeah. He mocked me all the fucking time. Glassy, why are you drinking this beer? Why are you drinking this beer? After 2 years of finally being up there, I did my research. It's still a product of an Anheuser-Busch, but
when I lived in Vancouver, we drank a lot of Caribou.
But so have you mixed it with the Ruby Red?
Ruby Red? No.
But with the Ruby Red, like the juice.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like a Clamato kind of, or
yeah, kind of.
So you like half and half, or what do you mean, Jim?
The band.
Yeah.
Who one of the members is actually from BC, Kelowna, I believe it is.
Yeah, it is Kelowna. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, and I can't remember what they called the drink.
I have no idea what
you mix the Caribou beer.
Moose milk.
No, that's a deletion. That's a deletion on January 1st.
Different.
You said Caribou, and then I instantly went there.
No,
I had some tequila. I'm sorry.
Bear.
Ruby Red and Caribou.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's really red.
It's called a Rattler. Apparently, I'm being told in my.
You take a Rattler in there? Yeah.
No, but the Ruby Red, like the juice, like the
go over here.
Ocean
I
Spray.
I have a legitimate bartender with me here. Come here. No, she's not coming over.
I'm not going around. I can't.
No. I'm trying to get her to come over here.
Jesus, Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, but okay.
You get behind them.
You know what? In BC, Grant, in BC, everything costs so GD much that you have to drink Caribou to just drink beer.
Well, that was I did my radio school in Vancouver, and that was our beer.
Where'd you go?
Caribou.
BCIT. Where'd you go?
No, I went to Columbia Academy.
Nice. Oh wow, that's
Hey fellas, thanks for having the patience. Sorry I had to leave you with Glassy for a couple of minutes, but
come on.
Listen, you guys look like absolute beauties. How's the locker room going, and how come? I gotta ask this. I'd be remiss if I didn't. Where's Locke?
Locke was out with us tonight, and
Jimmy,
he was asleep about an hour ago.
No, 2.
Lightweight.
Can you show pictures
Lightweight.
from your
Oh, it's
phone?
a Rattler. Okay, yeah.
Do you want to see what Lachlan looked like?
That's what we're talking
ago?
about.
Yeah, I would love to see this. Can you?
So
please
we
sail
were
down
out
the river,
tonight. He came
Michaela?
over to our house.
Nothing makes me
and,
happier than selling Lock Down the River on my own podcast because, listen, you're all there still, and Locke is not.
It's not appearing. You gotta click on it more.
Wow, he looks absolutely waffled.
Chris, you gotta help me.
Poor Locke.
What is that?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, he's in his Uber. Oh, jeez.
Are the eyes open or is he fucked?
Yeah, he lasted about 2 hours. We left his car downtown, and he was shit faced.
I love it.
You know what? You know what makes
the
you
fact
what
that you
what,
two are still standing. Jimmy looks sober-ish. You look completely sober and fine. And your lovely wife, Michaela, I don't even think she's had a sip of alcohol. Maybe she looked sober at all. Yes.
I love the fact of the way you guys do radio because, like, Cub Carson, Carson, the way he taught me that in Fort McMurray. It's real radio, and that's what you guys do, and I really respect that. And a huge stick tap, Jimmy Grant, like huge stick tap, big fan.
It's literally like I wake up, we roll in, and we crack the mics. And
You
it's-
wing it. Yeah, you
we're
wing
not
it.
planning anything. It's who we are.
How many?
Patty's Day was asleep on the floor in the control room.
Yeah.
Yes. How
Jimmy
many days,
literally got paid to sleep on the floor.
how many days of the week, and you can individually answer it, do you mail it in?
I'd say we.
And you have Chris as a
put in the show.
you
I'd
guys
say
got
we put
Chris.
a good effort in every day.
Yeah.
But any given day of the week, someone's hungover.
But you know what? That's what makes it real and relatable to everybody, because
I
we're all
spend
doing
more
the same
time-
thing.
More time. I'm actually better on the radio when I'm hungover than when I'm.
Yeah, 8 times out of 10,
Just-
it's Jimmy.
just-
That's
You
way
can tell
right?
yourself that.
When
Because
I'm,
you
When
care
you
about
guys put
people
him
haven't
out
more.
drank in
and
5
had
days.
to make him do those bits to come back on the air to sober up and stuff, I was dying. That was one of the funniest radio bits I've ever seen. Your drunk ass, midget ass can't come back on the air until you sober the fuck up and pass these tests.
You know
And
what?
Jimmy, you look completely buggered. Like
He was.
0.0 fucks given. You didn't. You're like, okay, fuck you. I'm not even coming on the air today.
Yeah.
on St. Patrick's Day,
The day after St. Patrick's
or
Day.
the day after, it wasn't the same day. Okay,
No.
No, it just rolled into
It was
Jimmy.
the day after.
Listen, I've got a pretty good life I've made
I
for
got-
myself. I
I
built
got
this
to
up
the
over 2
radio
years
station.
after
I slept-
having to abruptly leave Nicaragua. But if I may, if there's somebody's life I'm jealous of, it's you three, and including Locke, who's not there. You guys got an amazing radio show. Your camaraderie, just how you all get along, and what you've done it for a while now, and it's been
What's
kicking ass.
real-
I fucking love you guys, and it's so
It's-
fun to
Yeah.
listen to you in the morning when I can. And
It's
God
real
damn it,
radio is
you
what it
guys
is.
are a
It's
special breed
relatable.
for sure.
It's
What we
relatable
try to
radio.
do is just literally our lives. Like,
Yep.
it's just we go on the mic, we crack the mic, and it's what we're doing.
And I have no idea how their lives are involved in mine to this day. Like, I fucking
No,
literally
they're
do
just
not
they,
know.
The first
Yeah, I
story,
kinda
the
do.
first story we ever told of Army Kris was he was hooking up with some chick and a dog was licking his ass.
Yeah.
And so
Wow.
we talked about how
yeah.
you got
We gotta meet this guy.
My mom's gonna be so proud. Gregory Scott, why is this dog licking us stuff on your radio
And
show?
like 5.5 years later, here we are.
Oh,
You know what? You know,
Jimmy,
That's-
you look absolutely awesome with your new haircut. I look forward. Let's talk real soon about the Jedi Jimmy podcast / Bondzee
by the
watching
way,
some
nice
Star Wars
moves, Jimmy.
movies.
I'm a
And
big- hold on. I'm a big fan like you are, James. I'm a big fan of Star Wars, and I fucking appreciate every
go
podcast
fuck
you do.
yourself. That's
I'm all in.
Anyway, guy totally cut me off. Anyways, listen, I love all three. Jedi Jimmy, please do not stop what you're doing, Jimmy, because you're amazing at it. What you bring to the show on the locker room every morning on 95.7 Cruise FM out of Edmonton, the locker room, and your Jedi Jimmy podcast is amazing. Grant, the fact that you got to put up with these 2 other shitheads, including Jimmy and Mclaughlin, I love your stuff and what you bring to the show as well.
Thank you.
That I didn't get to meet you while I was there. Thanks for
Yeah.
letting me fill in for you on New Year's Eve. That was a real treat. And Michaela, it was a special treat tonight to have you on. It was amazing to hear your story. Thanks for sharing and being so honest. I love all you guys. And
I love that you didn't even get to Army Kris. I love
So
that. Yeah, we invited Army Kris on and the whole thing
He's
just
here.
gone
He's
through.
here. He's
Yeah.
drinking his Pilsner. Fuck it.
I'm good, bro. We're good.
Army Kris, we love you, man. We love you. And you guys.
Listen, I love all three. Jedi
cheers.
Jimmy will be in touch. Let's get this going.
Where's your beers?
Can't
Get
thank
your
you
beers
guys
up.
enough for joining me on
Push 'em
Bondzee
all.
Live.
Cheers.
Trippin' with
Yeah.
Bondzee, YouTube,
Cheers.
the Dean Blundell Network, where we're all a big fan of. God bless you guys. Have a great night there and go get more fucked up. And thanks for joining me.
We probably will.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Amen.
guys. And Michaela, keep on keeping on. And I wish you all the best for sure.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Yeah, you bet. Wowee. This show completely took a sideways turn. I wasn't going to do more than an hour and 10. We're at an hour and 40. Haven't even got to the videos. Glassy, why don't we just do like we did with our boy Lindley when he just filled in and we went late one night. Let's roll one or two funny ones before we get out of here, and then that's it. That's all. It's Bondzee Live, Trippin' with Bondzee, live from the Hip Bar in San Juan Del Sur. Everybody's kicking it in town. The bar across the street, my buddy Taiwan's bar, Nacho's killing it. San Juan Del Sur, the Hip's killing it. Love this place. Let's go. What do you got?
I would love to have seen more of Grant and Jimmy and Michaela instead of videos. You just
dude, I could sit here for 3 hours and do that, but
you went peace, so I carried it. It was good. It was good. It was totally good.
It's all good. It's enough. I know it. Listen, again, this is my show.
You're not my real mom.
I want to get out of here too. I want to go drink with my friends and hang out. I haven't even had supper yet. I'm not going to do a 4-hour fucking marathon from the Hip Bar.
No,
Christmas
show.
Booze.
Wade's
okay,
probably
maybe I will. Bring on the drinks. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, let's roll a video before we get the hell out of here. What do we got?
How do you want to set this one up?
We're going. They better be good, mister. I can sort of see in the background what you got teed up, but I can't.
This is probably the most worst parenting you could probably do in your entire life.
Oh my God! Watch how.
And over he goes.
Oh, where was Buddy? Like, I have so many. We have to play this like 5 more times because so much goes on in this video. Okay, pause it, please. Or don't.
One more time.
Can we pause it? Pause it.
Oh,
dude, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Listen, folks. I'm trying to talk here, and fucking Glassy keeps rolling the video.
Sorry.
Listen, watch how many things go on in this video alone. First, you got 3 people. Watch how they come out of the woodwork. How goddamn lucky is this baby? I don't know. The thing looks like it's in its diaper running around. Mom's on the phone, not paying attention. This could have went way wrong, but god damn it. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. Watch this. Kid's like, dude, oh, look. Literally grabs the kid by the heels, drops her cell phone. Buddy goes running down the stairs in his bicycle helmet. Not sure what the fuck he thinks he's going to do because he ain't getting down there like fucking Gordon Flash.
Well,
you know,
Mom was a shoestring away from
already going to be a disaster by the time he got down there in his bicyclette helmet. It would have been fucking like I seen in that train wreck. It would have been a mush on the floor.
Did you watch?
And then the other people come running out of nowhere too. I don't know what the fuck they think they're gonna do, but I gotta give this mom credit.
Right?
Even though she fucked up, kind of deal.
Did you see the ending to this video though?
Watch this one more time in full motion. I'll let it go.
Was a shoestring away from finding out how much a 3-foot casket cost. This kid's
lucky day, and not mom's lucky day. She would have never forgiven herself or probably owned another cell phone in her lifetime. Play it one more time, bro.
All right, fine.
Oh, the fuck. One-handed. What was that dude's name in the Chicago White Sox who caught that ball in the outfield and was ostracized for it? And he kind of made that miraculous, crazy.
Mom was a shoestring away from finding out how much a 3-foot
miracle
casket
one-handed last-second grab. That was right out of a Tom Cruise fucking movie right there, bud. Wasn't
100%.
that insane?
That was 100%. I think the worst part of that video is, even though the child is safe, what he said, we were a shoestring away from how much a 3-foot casket cost.
I can't hear what Buddy's saying after. I don't give a fuck what Tosh was saying. I love that guy to death. But I was focused on the actual video. She literally grabbed that kid by the ankle with one last fucking it's do or die, and she got him and dropped her cell phone and managed to pull the kid up and grab her cell phone all at the same time. One more video before I say goodbye. Let's go. What do we got?
It's Friday. We're leading into the weekend. Love each other. That's all we can say is love each other. Care about the person that's standing next to you. And
Damn right. Sorry. No, please finish, but don't play it until I say my piece.
I believe that this should happen a lot more in humanity. Greg, go ahead.
100%. And I am only going to reiterate that, folks. It's a tough life we live. We're in tough times. Ukraine shit going on. The world's upside down. Gas prices are fucked. People are fucked, living in their cars, buses, not even in homes anymore. And just try and figure out a simple life. And just, can we try and be kinder to one another?
Just care about what's going on.
This is the first step. And maybe do it this weekend. I challenge each and every one of you to pick up a pen and a piece of paper and find a stranger and do it this weekend. And we'll talk about it Monday. I'm going to fucking do it here in San Juan Del Sur. I encourage you to do the same. Watch this. The stranger handed this stranger a piece of paper that says your life matters. Forget about anyone else and what they fucking think about you. You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. Fuck what anybody thinks about you.
Yep.
Live your life. Live it to the best. Do the best you can do. Chin up every day. Smile. Make your bed when you get out of, up in the morning. Make your bed. It's one of the most number one things in the entire planet. Ask Army Kris.
Yep.
Ask anybody that suffers from PTSD and even OCD. Making your fucking bed is one of the greatest things you can do in the morning, because you know why? It starts your entire day. And you know what? When you woke up and you're fucking, if you're like me, sheets are absolutely everywhere because I'm a tornado when I sleep. Toss, turn, toss, turn. Sheets are upside down. Sometimes I'm upside down. Get up. Be thankful that you woke up. Make your fucking bed even before you pish. Yep. If you have to pish that bad, first go pish, but come back, make your bed. It starts your day. You accomplished numero uno.
That's right.
It's a start, and it works.
Let's do one more feel-good movie. She's blind. They made her find the basketball. It helped her. The whole arena is silent.
He's blind, and she goes by sound only. Watch this. What can you do if you're blind? I probably. If that doesn't give you the fucking feel good and makes the back of your hair on the back of your neck stand up, I don't know what will. Folks, just do better this weekend. Be better. Feel better about yourself. Love one another. Take care of one another. You're a pretty
that's
awesome
it, because
person,
we're all in this together.
Who cares what anybody else thinks about you?
I got to visit Dad today. Hey, I got to visit Dad. They wheeled him fucking downstairs.
That's amazing.
Milo came and visited.
It's the small things, right, buddy? Do a small thing, everybody, this weekend for one another. A stranger, your friend, a loved one. It doesn't matter. Just do it. That's all. I can't thank the Hip Bar in San Juan Del Sur enough for hosting me again.
Happy Friday.
Been amazing. Everybody's partying in San Juan tonight. It's Friday night. Go rock it. Go love one another. Take care of one another. It's Bondzee Live. Sponsors are San Juan Hip Bar in San Juan Del Sur. It's also DeanBlundell.com. It's also Shakespeare's Fine Dining in Hamilton. Go check them out. That's it. That's all. Scramble Clothing with K.com. Go check them out as well. Buy their swag. You'll look fucking awesome in it like I do. You will too. Be part of the squad. That's it. That's all. Glassy, you're the best. Hope your dad's doing well. Glad you got to see him. Thanks to my guest, Chris Cram.
Yes, he was awesome.
The new segment on Friday nights, Breaking News, is awesome. It's breaking, B-R-A-K-I-N-G. It's the last time I'm going to say it. It's a pun on words. So go fuck yourself. Have a great weekend. Love each and every one of you. Bye.
See you Monday.
Bondzee. Peace.
Yes, have a good weekend. Now to the two old people in the balcony.
What was that?
That was very strange.
It was very weird.
Peculiar.
It was kind of amusing.
Yes, it was rather funny.
It was incredibly funny.
I loved it.
Hilarious. Wonderful.
Wonderful.